Hello and welcome to this blog traffic quick start video brought to you by my WP Tech Guy. This video is here to help you start getting targeted traffic to your blog and keep them coming back. So let's get started. Before we begin, let's take a moment to understand what targeted traffic is. Targeted is important because you don't want just anyone coming to your blog. You want visitors you can help, visitors who have the problem that your blog is designed to solve, and their need for a solution should be immediate. For example, if your blog is about training puppies, you want visitors who just got a new puppy, not visitors who are thinking about buying one in 6 months. You might actually think the second group is great, but in reality, by the time they actually get the puppy, they will have forgotten about your blog. You don't want people wasting time on your blog. If you can't help them, you want them to go away. If they get tricked into reading articles on your blog, they will leave your blog with a bad feeling. Then later, if they have the actual need and come across your blog again, they may not remember going to it, but they will subconsciously remember the bad feeling. So now let's talk about the two different types of traffic. The two main types of traffic are organic traffic and advertised traffic. Now, a lot of people will say free traffic and paid traffic, and I'll explain why this is wrong in a minute. Organic traffic is when people are looking for some information that your blog provides, and they find you through their searches. These people are actively looking for a solution to a problem, and they come across your blog as having that solution. Advertised traffic is where you put information about your blog in front of people who might be interested. So they might have shown an interest at some point in the topic your blog is about, and you put an advertisement, you put information about your blog in front of them in one fashion or another. Now, organic traffic has advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that you tend to get more targeted, more highly focused traffic through organic traffic. The disadvantage is it's very slow, it's time consuming, and because it takes a lot of time, it could also cost you a lot of money if you're not willing to put that time in yourself. Another advantage of organic traffic is that when you get organic traffic going, it tends to stay going for a long time. It builds up a certain amount of inertia. The effort you put in the beginning keeps the ball rolling, so to speak, and the traffic just keeps coming in even if you stop using your organic traffic methods. Advertised traffic has the advantage of being very fast. You put the traffic out there, people see the advertisement, and they come to your blog right away. They don't have to wait. You're not waiting for someone to search for it. You're forcing the advertisement in front of them, and a lot more people will click on it because a lot more people will see it. And even if they're not directly interested right now, they'll see the ad, they'll go to it. They may even have forgotten that they have that need at that particular time. So an advertised traffic is great because it gets traffic to your blog very quickly. The disadvantage of advertised traffic is that once you stop advertising, you stop getting traffic. It's a great system for getting very fast traffic, but you have to keep doing it over and over again. And if you're spending money on this advertised traffic, it can get very expensive over time. Now, this video is going to mostly focus on organic traffic because one of the problems with advertised traffic is that you are testing two things. You have to test whether the advertisement is working, and then you also have to test whether the back-end offer side is working as to whether you're actually making a profit. If you don't know if your back-end side, your money-making methods are working on your blog, you don't know if it's the traffic building side that's not working right or if it's the money-making side. So if you start with organic traffic, you can test out and find out if your money-making side is working or not. Other options, of course, would be to find someone to run your ads for you who is an expert in that field, and then you can test the money-making sides that way. All right, so before driving traffic, we need to talk about having a few things ready to go on your blog. The first thing you need to make sure you have your squeeze page and your opt-in forms installed and tested. You want to make sure that people can get on your list when they get to your blog. You want some sort of an opt-in on every page, whether it's an inline inside the post or it's a sidebar opt-in, or even if it's a pop-up opt-in. You want an opt-in form anywhere people come to your blog from. They may not come from the front page. They might come in through a link to one of your blog posts. You want them to still be able to sign up. But you also want a squeeze page because they're much more effective in getting people to sign up to your list. Sometimes, a sidebar or an inline opt-in might only be 5%, but a squeeze page could be 40, 50, 60% have opt-in rate, and that will give you better traffic onto your list. And so you do want to send some of your traffic to your squeeze page. Another thing you want to have is an About Me and a Contact Me page, written and easily accessible. They have to be able to find it quickly and easily from anywhere they come into, because you want to give them that information. If they want to know who you are and how to get hold of you, you want to make that easy for them. Because if they don't find these things, they might think your blog is kind of half done. You're still building it. It's not really worth their time yet. And then the final thing, again, because you don't want people thinking your blog is still, very much a beginner blog and only has an article or two, you want to have a good mix of posts. You want to have like, know, and trust posts. You want to have educational posts, and you want to have a few promotional posts too, because you do want to be able to test the money-making potential of your current work, and if you need to adjust that, assuming this blog is out there to make money. Now, before we start actually driving traffic, we want to be able to track the traffic we're sending to our blog. A good, easy way to do this is using Google Analytics, and we install a plugin on the blog that connects our blog with the Google Analytics, and then we can track it. Now, the plugin I use is Google Analyticator. I like it because it gives a very concise view of the traffic to your blog on your WordPress dashboard. You can dig into it more on the Google Analytics website. This gives a quick overview of the traffic you've had, and it's one of the better ones and easier ones to use. Now, there are other traffic tracking systems you can use. They can be a little resource intensive, especially if you're using shared hosting. I've seen a lot of these traffic tracking systems drive blogs in shared hosting over their limits, and then that blog gets limited for 24 hours on resources. So the performance really tends to drive it down even more than the actual plugin itself. So let's show setting up our blog on Google Analytics and installing and connecting with the Analyticator plugin. Okay, so here we are on the Google Analytics website. To use Google Analytics, you do need to have a free Google account, and you will need to log in with it. If you haven't created one, I recommend you do create a Google account. You get the Gmail, you get the Google Drive with 5 gigs of free storage. You get Google Docs. It's a good deal. And again, you need it for Google Analytics. You'll need it for Google Webmaster Tools later on. So definitely get yourself a Google account. Sign into Google Analytics. This is free. Now, yours will look different if you're just signing in for the first time. I already have some web properties on here, so that's why mine looks like this. But to create a new one, we'll need to go to Admin. This should be about where you'll look at from here. And then under Properties, we'll click Create New Property. So we're creating a website, and we'll give it a name. It really doesn't matter. This is just for the analytics side of things. It's an HTTPS website. Put in the URL. Select the industry. Select the time zone you want to go by. Max is 50, so I get a tracking ID. Now, this is really not necessary with the plugin we're using. If you were going to use something else, you might need this tracking ID. We don't need it because of the plugin we're going to use. So let's go over to our website. I've already logged in, and here's my dashboard. So we'll go to Plugins, and we're going to add new. And we'll search for Google Analyticator. And that's it right there. So we'll install it now. Again, a lot of these plugins will work just fine. I've looked at many. I like this one because it seems to give the most information on your WordPress dashboard. Okay, so now it's installed and activated. So now we come down here to Google Analytics. So here's how Google Analytics connects. Now you can do it without authentication. It's a little easier if you do authenticate. So we just click here. It brings a little pop-up. Asks you to choose the account. It asks me this because I have multiple Google accounts. So this is the account my analytics is under. I allow. It might ask you for your password. And then you'll just take this code, you'll copy it, you'll paste it over here, you'll save and continue. Now it's going to come up, it's going to tell you it's disabled. So what you do is you select the website here. There it is right there. I'm going to enable it and save changes. And there you see there are some other options. One of the things I do is I tell it not to track the administrator role. So when I'm working on a blog and I'm logged in, it's not tracking all my usage and confusing it. So that kind of helps me keep out my traffic so I know I'm not skewing the numbers because I'm editing the blog. Now we go over here to the dashboard. And you can see it's right here. Now, right now, there's no traffic because I just added. But it will, as traffic comes in, you'll see number of visits, number of page views, bounce rate. That's visitors who leave after, I think it's 30 seconds. It might be longer. Average time on site. It'll also tell you top page views, top prefers, and top searches. As you start to get that information come in, you'll start to see how people get to your site and where you can put more effort. So if you have you get a lot of response from your work on a particular forum, or maybe a lot of your traffic comes from Facebook, then you know you can spend more of your time on Facebook and less of your time on other traffic driving activities. Okay, the next step we're going to want to take is we're going to set up our online presence. And by that I mean you're going to set up different pages and such on different social media sites so that we can share our content more easily. So one of the first places you're going to want to set up, you're going to want to set up a Google Plus page for yourself. If you've created your Google account, it's only a few extra steps to go in and set up a Google Plus page. Google Plus, if you aren't familiar with it, was Google's attempt to compete with Facebook. It's not as popular as Facebook by any means, but there are a lot of advantages to sharing content on Google Plus over Facebook. Google Plus will add your shared links to their search engines, and oftentimes when I share a link on Google Plus, that post on my Google Plus profile will score higher than the actual page does in search engine ranking. So Google Plus is definitely a great place to share your content, if nothing else, for the SEO benefits it gives you. Now, if your blog is based around a live office or a storefront where customers will visit you, you will also want to claim your Google Business page. This will allow you to set hours and comments and control review and control pictures and help you respond to reviews and that kind of thing. So you definitely want to claim your Google Business page if you have a live office or storefront where visitors will be coming to you, possibly using Google Maps. You obviously want to be on Facebook. So you're going to want a personal profile on Facebook, but you're also going to want to set up a Facebook page. This will be mostly for ads because the rules on Facebook are changing and pages just aren't getting the traffic to them that they used to. They're not getting the reach. They're not showing up in the newsfeed anywhere as much. But you do need a page to run Google ads or Facebook ads, and there are a lot of advantages to running Facebook ads. Even the two biggest is that it's very easy to do certain ads with Facebook ads, and um, it's a very low cost of entry. You can start doing Facebook ads for $5, whereas you can't do that with Google pay-per-click traffic or any of the other traffic methods. You're going to end up starting out with hundreds of dollars. With Facebook ads, you can start with just $5. So get a Facebook page, set it up, put a nice picture in there. So you're going to start putting posts in there. It's not going to get you a lot of traffic, but it will give you a place for ads. Another thing you want to do is you're going to set up a Facebook group for your niche. Now, Facebook groups have a little more reach, but they still fall under some of the problems with adding links to them. But Facebook groups are a good place to start to build a community. They get a bit more traffic than just a Facebook page. So creating one just for your niche, and then creating another Facebook group just for people who purchased products from you. So if you're going to sell products, digital products, whatever products, you want to have a Facebook group just for them so you can stay in touch with them. They can feel special and that kind of thing. You really want to stay connected with your customers. So a separate group just for customers so they get that special feeling, that elite feeling. They are, after all, the lifeblood of your business. You probably want to have a Twitter profile and then any other social media sites that your particular niche might frequent more. So if your particular niche is more business related, you might get more traction from LinkedIn than Twitter, or you might see a lot of your people, another custom social media profile that I haven't mentioned. You'll want to set up a site there with them as well. For example, if your particular niche is going to lead you to end up needing to create a lot of videos for educational purposes, then a YouTube channel. And we'll get into YouTube in a little bit, but definitely you'll want a YouTube channel if you're going to be making a lot of videos. Now that we've got a lot of our stuff, let's get into some basics of our organic traffic. So the first we'll talk about is anytime you create a post for your blog, you're going to share it with your entire online presence. Now, this is going to get you some traffic based on how many visitors, followers, likes you have. It's not going to be a huge amount, but it will be there. But it will also start to spread the word, and it will also help your search engine ranking, as I mentioned, with the Google Plus profile earlier. As you start to build your email list, you're going to email the people on your list about your post. Now, you're going to choose, depending on how often you post and how often you feel comfortable mailing your list. You might send them one post every day that includes a mention about your daily post. Or you might send one post a week that covers all the posts you've made for that week. Another tip is when you add, because you've got analytics, you can see which posts are very popular. You can go back and share the really popular posts again every month, for example. So if you have a post that every time you recommend it, every time you mention it on social media, you get 200 visitors, 500 visitors, whatever the number is. If this post is very popular, then share it again later on next month, and keep sharing it as long as it keeps getting you traffic. So a couple of don'ts about traffic. Don't buy cheap traffic services. They might claim to be targeted traffic. They can claim whatever they want. It's just a waste of money. It's a bunch of cheap traffic clogging up your blog, and it's not going to return on the investment. You're just not going to get any of your money back. It's going to be just a lot of clicks that are ego stroking, but they're not actually valuable. They're not really targeted, so don't do it. Also, don't buy cheap SEO services. A lot of times these are spammy SEO type services, getting you backlinks that are meaningless, and Google's pretty savvy to that. So when you buy these cheap SEO services, not only are you not helping your SEO, you're actually hurting it, because Google's savvy to a lot of these old tactics that just don't work anymore, and they'll actually penalize you a little bit if they start to see your link is spammed on 5,000 sites that have nothing to do with your blog or your niche. And then obviously you don't want to spam your links. You do not want to just post your link everywhere so that people just start groaning when they see your post and start unfollowing you or just disassociating themselves with you. So you definitely want to keep that in mind as you're going through and driving traffic to your blog. Okay, so let's look at some of the traffic tactics we're going to discuss here. So the first one is SEO, or search engine optimization. This is so you score better in search engine. People put in a term in Google search, or you can even do SEO for Yahoo or Bing if you want. Google is still the main one, and if you're going to spend time on SEO, that would be the one I would focus on. We're going to talk about forum marketing, where you find forums about your particular niche and you interact with people there and occasionally share your content with them. I'll get into why you don't want to just spam them as well. YouTube marketing, where again we talked about if you're creating videos for your site, anybody can create videos. You don't have to, you need to show somebody how to do something. You can create a video based on your article, just a little screen, a slideshow just like the one I'm using here, and talk about your article and post it to YouTube. We'll get into that. Blog commenting and guest blogging, where you're going to other people's blogs, you're commenting on blog posts there in a meaningful way, and there's an automatic link back to your blog that way. Also, you can find different blogs and actually post links to yours if it's a meaningful link that has, adds value to the discussion. Guest blogging is where you will write a post for another person's blog, and they will put it, and there will be a link back to your blog on it. And then finally, the one advertising traffic we'll get into is we'll get into running some really simple Facebook ads for your blog. Okay, so let's start with SEO. Now, there's really two things to remember about SEO. One, write interesting content that helps people. Period, final, the end. I know that's on the bottom there. It should be the number one item. Write interesting content. If you write interesting content that helps people and you aren't trying to trick people, you aren't trying to game the system and score higher in SEO than you deserve, SEO will never let you down. Period. If you try to game the system, if you try to trick people to come to your site using SEO so you can make money off of them, you will eventually lose. Google will catch up to you. You will get delisted. You will get dropped off the face of Google. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if somebody tells you it's a Google-proof way, it passes this update or that update or Panda or Penguin or whatever update they're on. Google will eventually catch up with you. You will eventually lose your rankings, and your traffic will go to zero overnight. Write interesting content. Write content people want to read. Don't game the system. It's that simple. Now, some ways to optimize your SEO without gaming the system is obviously you're going to want to register with Google Webmaster Tools, and you're going to want to submit a sitemap. This will register your entire site with it. We're going to add some sites to our writing settings update services. So whenever you make a new post, a lot of sites will get pinged about it. This will trigger some additional indexing. And then because we installed the Yoast SEO plugin, one of the reasons it has some great guidelines for creating your article. It will give you some tips about overusing keywords, where to put keywords, where not to put keywords, keeping the readability very good, keeping the length good. There's a lot of factors in it, and just following their guidelines and getting as many green check marks in that plugin with your article is going to really help without gaming the system. You're kind of optimizing the article so that it doesn't look too gamey, but also so that it's easier for people to read, because that's something that checks readability. And if you're writing like a college textbook, you're going to turn a lot of people off unless your targeted audience is college professors. So again, that's kind of something you need to take into account. This is more the average readability, and part of your SEO scores is based on how long people stay on your blog. So if you have a really, it's like I said, it's written like a college textbook, and your audience isn't college professors, they're not going to spend a lot of time on your blog. They're going to get through the first paragraph and they're going to go away if they make it that far. So again, you want to follow the guidelines as best you can, keeping in mind that it's made for the average Google visitor and not if you have a very customized audience. You'll have to adjust it yourself accordingly. Okay, so here we are with Google Webmaster Tools. Again, you need a Google account to use this. And it's really very simple. We just add a property. Now you're going to have to verify that you own that website. The easiest way is to verify with Google Analytics. You click verify, boom, you verified you own the website. Now a little tip that I didn't show you in the background. To verify with Google Analytics, you do have to turn off iTheme security. So I did do that in the background. I will activate it back again now that I've verified it. Now, again, you're going to want to submit a site app. So we just go here. You're going to add your sitemaps. You would come over here. You can get your link from here. It is okay, so I was wrong. Yoast SEO does have XML sitemaps, but only if you buy the premium version. So we'll just go over here and we'll search for a plugin, Google XML Sitemaps. We'll install and activate it. And then it will show up over under settings. And so now we've got our sitemap right here. So when we come over here to our Search Console, we see it's just sitemap.xml. Now I'm not going to submit it because I don't have enough content on this blog, but you can see that it did find it just fine. And we can actually open up and see kind of what it looks like. So again, I don't have much content here, so there's not really any reason to submit it. But once I have some posts here, I can submit it, and then it will start. It will index out my entire website. Okay, so the other thing you want to do is we're going to go to writing. And so here's our update services. And right now there's only one link in here. Now below I'll give you a text document where you can copy down a list of sites you can paste in here. You just copy all the sites out, paste them in here, choose Save Changes, and then every time you post something new to your blog, it will ping all those sites. And some of them will actually go ahead and index your site, and so it'll kind of give you some additional traffic that way. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about forum marketing. So forum marketing, a lot of people say forum marketing is dead because of Facebook and Reddit, but you're going to find that the rules for forum marketing still apply to both Reddit and Facebook. So let's go into some little basics. So what a forum is just it's an online bulletin board, as you will, of people posting questions and commenting and sharing discussions on various topics. Usually the forums focus on a niche, and you'll want to find the forums that are in your niche. So that's really easy. You can go and just search your niche, word forum in Google, and you're going to find a whole bunch of forums in your niche. You're going to want to go into those forums, and you want to make sure that the forum is active. And by active, I mean that there's posting regularly. If nobody's posted to this forum in 6 months, move on. It's not worth your time. It should be fairly active. Daily posts are great. If multiple threads are being updated daily, that's definitely a good place to look into. So when you're joining a forum, you're going to need to join a forum. You're going to need to create an account on the forum. The very first thing you do after you create the account is you want to read and follow the guidelines. Do not break the rules and try to claim ignorance. If there's any doubt, you ask permission, because that old axiom that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission is wrong on the internet. They will ban you so fast you will not get a chance to ask for forgiveness if you break the rules. They don't like people coming in and spamming their forums. They don't like people coming in and just trying to advertise their services or their products. They want people to help them. And you're probably going to ask yourself, why should you waste your time if you can't advertise? Well, you're attempting to build a relationship with these people, and a lot of these forums will give you rules like you can post links after you've had 50 posts, or you can put a link in your signature after you've had 50 posts. And what a signature is, if you don't know, it's a little bit of content on the bottom of every one of your posts. So what you're doing is you're building a relationship with these people in the forum. You're interacting with them, and this is great because it's giving them a chance to see you for the expert that you are. It's getting to know you in a place they feel comfortable, because they come to this forum and they read posts and they comment, and that's a very important aspect. So you're coming to them, you're spending time in a place they feel comfortable, and you're getting to connect with them. And then once they get to like you, they might reach out to you through a private message system in the forum. They might click on a link. And again, if the forum lets you post links after so many posts, you can occasionally post links. Don't spam links. Again, first thing we talked about, don't spam links. Don't just post link after link after link, and that's all they know you for, is posting links. You should help them at least twice as much as you try to send them to your blog. Now, if you have written an article that exactly answers their question, and you're following the guidelines of the blog, then absolutely post a link to that post on your blog because it's helping them. As long as you're following the rules of the forum, you're going to be fine. Now, Reddit and Facebook groups, they really work the exact same way. They have rules. People feel comfortable going to them and starting discussions. So don't abuse their trust. Go into those. And the nice thing about Reddit and Facebook is there's a built-in way for people to connect with you, even if there is a no links rule at all. If there's a no links rule on a forum, and you can't put a link in your signature either, you're not going to get that much traction out of that forum. And I would even say probably not going to want to spend a lot of time there, unless it's just such a massively popular forum in your niche that you really want to be a part of it. If there's no links rule in Facebook groups or in Reddit, there's still an easy way for people to contact you outside of it and connect with you, especially Facebook, because they can connect directly with your profile and private message you or connect to your profile and try to friend you. And so that gives you some advantages in Facebook and Reddit. So a lot of forums might be dying because of Reddit or Facebook, but the rules of forum marketing still apply to both Reddit and Facebook groups. You absolutely want to follow them. Now let's talk about YouTube marketing. YouTube marketing is a really good way to get traffic because, just like your Google Plus profile, videos on YouTube will often score higher in search engine ranking than the actual blog article. So you can create a video on the same subject and have it link back to your blog. So anytime you create an article, it's a good idea to think about how you can create a video. Now, it can be as simple as using a webcam and recording yourself talking about the contents of the article, or you can create a slideshow, much like this video is. It's a slideshow presentation where you have bullet points along the way and you can discuss the article that way. Now, you want to make sure as you're going along when you're recording the video that you reference any details they might need to remember, so they don't have to replay the video over and over again to write it down. So any links, any notes, any steps that they need to take, you should reference that as being down below in the description when you're recording the video. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your YouTube channel, which, because you created a Google Plus account, you have your Google Plus profile, you will also have a YouTube channel that you can upload your video to. Now, if you want to create a second channel specifically for a niche, that's fine. You can do that. It's a few extra steps, but it's often helpful to have a separate channel so you can separate your videos out in your different niches. But you can just post it up to your main profile if you want, for ease at the moment. And then when you add the video, while it's uploading the video and then it's going to process it, you can make sure you can write out your description. And again, you're going to want to make sure that you have at the very top a link to your blog post, or maybe even just your squeeze page at the very top of your description. And then again, include any details that you mention in the video, steps, links, URLs, whatever you need, whatever you might have in the article that you want people to go to. You can have links back to other pages as well, or even links to other videos. There's really a lot of flexibility there, and it gives you a lot of different options. And then once your video is uploaded and ready, and then you've watched it and you make sure everything's working well, you can go ahead and share that video with your online presence. Again, so it's your Google Plus profile, your Facebook fans, your Twitter, wherever else you're on in social media, whatever your online presence is set up as, you want to share that video with. Now let's talk about blog commenting. Now this is a bit time consuming, and some people think it's not as valuable. However, one of the advantages of this one and the next one is you get to target highly targeted traffic because you're picking the niche very specifically. So with blog commenting, you're going to go out and find blogs in your niche that allow comments. You want them to be very, very specific. You want to make sure that the blog does allow you to comment, because if you're going to spend your time on it, you want to make sure that you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So you're going to look for a blog that allows comments, and ideally you want the blog to be fairly current. It should receive regular posts. Once a day would be great. Once or twice a week would be fine. Just make sure you learn their schedule so you're not going back to it again and again, waiting for a new post. Now, each time you read an article, you're going to find some meaningful point that you can talk about. You're trying to connect with the readers of the blog, not necessarily the blog owner. So you're trying to make comments that are going to connect with the readers of the blog. You can also go and read other comments. And sometimes I've found that a comment will ask a question that I have an answer for. And I have done this in the past where I'll find a blog. The very first comment was a question about, how do I do this? It would be great if there was a picture. I happen to have a post that had a picture explaining the very thing they were looking for. So I put that in a reply to their comment. So my comment was basically second on the list, even though there were a lot of comments after mine. Because I was replying to that comment, it showed up second on the list. And this particular post happened to get advertised again and again. Like I mentioned before, you're going to advertise, you're going to promote your blog posts that are very popular. Well, this was a popular blog post. So every time that blog promoted that post, my comment was right there at the top under that question that I'm sure a lot of people were having, because every time they promoted that post, I saw a spike in that blog's traffic. So this is definitely a trick you can use, as long as you aren't spamming them, as long as you aren't trying to sell them something. You're trying to connect with them, that the people who run the blog will generally let it go, even though you're linking to your blog. And in fact, anytime you comment on a blog, there's generally a place where you can put in a URL. So when they click on your name, it actually goes to your blog. So that's definitely another place you can put it. You don't have to just put in the URL in your comment. You can actually just put the URL in the comment form when you're posting the comment, and that'll link at your name. So when people click on your name, they'll go to your blog. And again, that's why you want to make sure you're connecting with them. You're speaking to the readers of the blog and not to the blog owner, so that you're connecting with them and then they have an interest in going to find out what else you might have for them. The next one we talk about is guest blogging, and this is similar but a little bit different. Instead of posting comments on a blog, you're finding blogs that allow for guest blogging or guest authors. And you will submit an article to the blog owner, and they will post that blog post to their site so their readers get it. They will promote it. And then they're going to also let you put, usually they'll let you put a mini bio with a link back to your blog. Now you gain some authority by doing this. You gain some additional gravitas from the blog owner by them posting you, and they're now saying you're an expert. So their blog readers will get an extra sense of comfort because a blog that they trust is recommending you by posting your content on their site. Now, for this one, you're definitely going to want to write like, know, trust, or educational posts to connect with the readers. And you're going to want to make sure it's very valuable content for the readers so that the owner of the blog will continue to post your guest blog posts. Okay, now finally, we're going to talk about Facebook ads. Now, Facebook ads is a very complicated subject, and there's a lot of power in it. And I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to teach you is not the most effective way to use Facebook ads, but it is a very easy way to use Facebook ads. And you can get started for very little amount of money, and you can start driving traffic to your blog using this method. So the first thing you're going to do, and we've already talked about this in an earlier slide, you're going to talk about creating a Facebook page. Now, you want to create a Facebook page. You want to put a nice graphic on it. You want to put a nice description in it. And you're going to want to put some posts. Not a lot of people are going to go to your page, but it's a good idea to have some posts in there so for the people that do, it doesn't look like you just started it yesterday. So the next step, and it's very easy because as soon as you create the page, you're going to get an option to promote the page with Facebook. They're going to have a big button. You're going to click. You're going to be able to promote it. It's going to take you step by step what you need to do. Set up a payment account. It's going to let you pick the audience, and then you're going to promote the page, and you're going to get a lot of likes to it. Now, again, these likes really are pretty cheap, but it's because they really aren't going to see much of what you post unless you promote the post to your audience. And that's the next step. So you're going to create a lot of page likes, and then periodically, maybe once a week, maybe more, depending on your budget, you're going to spend $5 and promote one of your better posts that week so that more people who like it will see it, and it will get your reach out there, and it will get more traffic back to your blog. Now, this is a very simple method, and like I said, it's not the best way to do Facebook ads, but it is a very easy method to use. And if you want to get into more complicated ads, I recommend finding an expert in Facebook ads and studying it with them. Don't try to learn this on your own. It can be very expensive. There's a lot of tools in there that you want to learn how to use, and you don't want to use 5-year-old training and videos that don't apply anymore. So really with Facebook ads, you can start out with this simple method, promote your page to get a bunch of likes, and then start promoting posts to your page audience so that they see your posts in their timeline, and they may be inclined to click on the links in them. So in conclusion, we're trying to build an audience for a new blog. We're going to start by building our online presence, and we're going to work on growing our reputation as an expert in this niche who helps people. So when you share your content with your community, they know you're not just trying to sell them stuff. They know you're trying to help them. And when you do recommend a product to them or a service to them, they know it's really going to help them and not just line your pockets. And finally, you want to learn about any specific ad platform before you begin spending money on it. So these are the steps you need to take. You've learned how to set up your blog. You've learned how to create content for your blog, and now you've learned how to promote your blog and drive traffic to it. So now you get to go out and get your blog profitable.